Thank you so much, and really thank you for what you have done downtown. You continue to be the leadership. It was a real partnership when I was in Borough Hall, and you know, Ms. Myers is right. Part of the reason we're here is because we want you to spend money. So stop in the shops, you know, spend some money so that we can continue to open our economy. And to our partners here, Senator Jackson, real hero around these issues for so many years. Councilman Marte, Lincoln wrestler. Oh, you didn't ride your bike, you know.
I got a 5K this morning.
Okay. And all of our partners, particularly with my good friend, Councilman Idanis Rodriguez, former councilman who's now the commissioner of DOT. Just enjoy some of the good vision that Idanis has as we push forward. As we were walking after riding, we were talking about, you know, just the whole battle of traffic fatalities that we're seeing in our city. And we want to lean into the enforcement aspect of it. We must be more proactive than reactive. I was a captain in traffic stats when I was the XO of the 6th Precinct, where we zeroed in on enforcement, making sure we sent the right message, and we want to just find out what is going on. We're going to be convening a series of meetings with our precinct personnel, zeroing in on those dangerous intersections, and really push back on the number of traffic crashes that we're seeing that we think we could take a more stronger approach to it. And I'm excited about doing so, and I'm looking forward for your leadership in this area. Just rode across the bridge. I love that new path. It was a nightmare going on top, and it was a dream going on the roadway. And to all those critics that stated, well, you know, you're going to back up traffic, wrong. You're able to share the streets with pedestrians and those who need to utilize the bridge and drive in a vehicle. It was a nice, smooth run. You know, I'm going to look to do it more often as I come into Brooklyn, but it was a great way of getting your blood pumping and exercising. A beautiful. To all those who advocated to get it done, you need to give yourself a hand, because it was really a great idea, and we need to continue to look at great ways of opening our city to those who bike in a safe way. Far too many people are not biking because they don't feel safe. And the more we make it safe, the more we are going to see people utilize their bikes, which is good for exercise. It's good to interact with everyday New Yorkers, and it is just good for our environment. You're talking about a win-win-win. It's definitely a win-win-win. And so that's why today we're making an historical announcement. Now, I say this term all the time, and you guys just never write about how many times I say historical. You know, we just keep making history. I feel like the Jackie Robinson of mayoralty. I keep making history, and I just want to see a line, this historical mayor, keep making history on historical funding in so many areas, historical announcement, investment of more than $900 million to continue to keep our streets safe. This is the largest amount that we have put in place. And so tomorrow you're going to see, well, Eric didn't do $901, you know. No, we're the largest amount, the historical investment in making our streets safe. And we are committing $904 million over the next 5 years to help build critical infrastructure. This built into with Stephen and Ryan and what we did over at Prospect Park, what we did to protect the bike lane. People said it couldn't be done. We got it done. And you know what? We got it done within my administration, within the time that we allocated it. And if you haven't been over to Prospect Park, it's a beautiful route to take going along Flatbush Avenue. It used to be extremely frightening, but we got it done. And this is part of our New York City streets plan that Councilman Rodriguez has been talking about and pushing forward, and includes expanding the mileage of bike lanes, dedicated bus lanes, and busways. And it builds on the work we're doing to reform on-street parking and reduce the number of dangerous vehicles and drivers in our city. There are people who are habitual dangerous drivers. They speed, they have a total disregard for others. They're always in a rush no matter where they're going. They don't believe that there's a speed limit. We need to find them proactively and get them off the streets. And they're continuous abusers that they have a total disregard for our streets and the safety of our citizens. Too many New Yorkers have lost their lives, and we're committed to stop this increase with those who are part of transportation alternatives, Families for Safe Streets, and other advocates who have really pushed this important issue forward. I say this over and over again, these are our streets. And it's about riding, skateboarding, walking. It's about being able to move throughout your city in a safe way. And when I sit down and speak with my elders or those who are living with some form of physical impairment, they talk about the challenges of crossing the streets. And we looked at that as the borough president, and we're going to continue to look at that as the mayor, as we did curb build-outs, how we put in place pedestrian plazas. Look at this beautiful plaza here. This is a good place you could come, shop, sit down, spend time, and just enjoy the outdoors. That's what's great about this city. I'm a big people watcher, and this is a good place to just watch people walk by. And so as part of this investment, we are installing barriers on 5 of our protected bike lanes across the city. This is part of our 20 miles that we want to reach to harden protected bike lines by the end of next year. These 5 protected bike lanes, in addition to improvements made earlier this year, will make up 10 miles that will be completed by the end of 2022. So we are moving forward at a very consistent pace. We're on track to meet our targets. I say this over and over again, and I borrowed this from Senator Jackson: promises made, promises kept. You got to keep the promises you made. We are a city of pedestrians, cyclists, skaters, drivers, and mass transit. When I bounce from here, I'm hopping on the train to go back. So, you can see the different ways we can move around our city. And we're just, my motto. I've said this over and over again. Eventually, New Yorkers are going to walk around. They're going to walk around with a thumbs up, and they're going to say GSD, get stuff done. We get stuff done in this administration. That's why we continuously use the term historical, because we are moving the barriers away from getting stuff done and placing barriers along our protected bike lanes so people can get stuff done in a safe way and biking through our cities a safe way. Motivating our children to bike to school. Safe corridors for them to bike to school once or twice a week, having them not be stationary, but to actually bike to school, having biking clubs. There's some amazing biking clubs that are taking place. So the energy is here. We must do our part, and that is to ensure that the pathways are safe, where people can feel comfortable in utilizing the bike infrastructure that we have. We are so far behind international leaders. When you go to other cities and countries across the globe, they're so far ahead of us. We don't follow in New York. We lead in New York, and so we're going to regain our leadership under the next few years to make sure that this is the place where people will come and study and analyze how we got it right. Under the Bloomberg administration, it really took off. We need to continue what was put in place under the de Blasio's administration, but we're going to push forward and do the historical things that are needed to make it happen. We have the right team, the right people, and the right energy, and that energy starts at the top. It starts with my amazing good friend, the Commissioner of the Department of DOT, Adonis Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And first of all, I'd like to recognize also that we've been joined here by Casey Charles Guzman, the Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental. So a big round of applause for her. It is nice to also be another Latina also playing important leadership with this administration. And I also want to, two things before reading my talking point. One is to say thank you to the 6,000 leaders at DOT, the men and women that they've been working for so many decades. That as we are speaking right now, and some of them here, Margaret Fujoni, my deputy commissioner, she's a diamond to be sure that the diamond corridor that we are closing today from Broadway to La Marina, that San Nicolas from 181st to 190, has all the programming that our working class community deserves. That's what the mayor, that's what this administration, we leave the fingerprint. It's about equity. It's about fairness. It's about the same thing that we are seeing in downtown Manhattan, in downtown Brooklyn, in Long Island City. We will see in the underserved community under this administration led by my friend Mayor Eric Adams. So this is where we're going as a city. The second thing that I want to acknowledge is that, New York City never sleeps, and we move forward. We are going to be at 5 p.m. ending our car-free Earth Day, and at the same time, the mayor has here also the person that on May 1st already have a sold out of 32 cyclists that will be participating, 32,000 cyclists that will be participating in the 5-borough bike tour that on the Mayor Eric Adams, for the first time since 1978, they got an extension of the time so that they can be not only the largest bike-borough tour in the nation, but with a plan to be the largest one in the whole world. So that's what this mayor is all about, but we need partnerships such as Ken Baxiba. So thank you, Ken, too. Listen, we were here in 2018. At that time, Brooklyn Borough President, now Mayor Eric Adams, celebrating Car-Free Day, riding our bike. It was a raining day. We worked with what Mother Earth gave us. No, today we got a beautiful 60-degree, but 2018 was a raining day. And we were there here in Brooklyn. We were there standing with the Car-Free Day, which is the biggest one that have been seen that is happening in the United States of America. So New York City always is taking the lead. During one of our first Car-Free Earth Day celebration years ago, I came to Brooklyn again, as I say, with at that time our Brooklyn Borough President, now Mayor Eric Adams, where we hosted one of our shows, a few locations that opened in the street for pedestrians and cyclists. At that time, we only have Broadway from 23rd to Union Square and a block or two here in Brooklyn and some area in Washington Heights. 6 years later, I'm proud to stand alongside Mayor Eric Adams today as we kick off the biggest car-free Earth Day in the nation to announce his historic investment in the New York City Street Master Plan. Today, we are announcing $904 million to reclaim a space from cars on our streets. We will be building even more bike lanes and dedicated bus lanes and busways, as well as new plazas and other public spaces. The commitment includes more than $500 million for capital and even more in baseline expense funds. We know we have a lot of work to do to address reckless driving in the senseless traffic violence on our street at the same time that we get this investment. This funding will help New Yorkers reduce the dependency on dangerous cars and embrace safer, greener alternatives like biking and transit. We are already hard at work on the street plan. We are redesigning some of our open streets to make them permanent, like 34th Avenue in Queens. We are planning exciting new bus projects in the Bronx and new safe bike lanes across the city, among many other initiatives. We are also on pace to meet our commitment to harden our bike lane across the city. And please, the question should not be if we have not done it in the time that we say. We make with Bike New York, we make with TA, and we committed, and they understand that the important is not if we were doing the 3 months, that the important is about the quality. And that's why they're also on board on the miles that we've been able to change the plastic protected by lane for solid one. Today we're announcing another group of lanes to be hardened, including Grand Street in Brooklyn, Northern Boulevard, Northern Boulevard in Queens, and Southern Boulevard in the Bronx, among several others. Every year, Car-Free Earth Day reminds us of transportation's important role in sustainability, the environment, and to the city as a whole. The city that is composed by upper, middle, and the majority working class. Today, we are bringing public space programming to 9 corridors across the 5 boroughs to celebrate. We have partnered with over 150 community organizations and city agencies that will provide programming promoting education surrounding climate change, sustainability, and other relevant topics, plus fun community-based performance and activity for all ages. If you want to do free sailing, go to Dyckman Marina. If you want to learn how to ride the bike, go to those corridors in Bike New York. They're ready to teach you how to ride a bike. The future of our city depends on our alternative form of transportation. It is crucial that we continue to embrace electric and green motor transportation in a city that is only composed by 350 square miles. As we continue to improve the safety and reliability of our transportation system, I'm encouraging New Yorkers to leave their cars at home not only today, but as many days as possible. Environmental justice is a racial justice. Most people who died during COVID were the working class who have pre-health conditions such as asthma, obesity, diabetes, and others. We know that climate change and carbon emission impact our underserved and low-income community the most. That's why this investment in the street plan is so important. We are committed to deliver these projects in a way that is equitable. Our work will benefit the communities that need it the most. We are incredibly proud to celebrate Car-Free Earth Day with Mayor Adams and New Yorkers across the boroughs. And we thank the mayor for his support and vision to deliver a safer, more livable city. And this activity is happening from Staten Island, where I started my day today at 8 in the morning as they planning for the Car-Free Day, across Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Manhattan. Hoy le damos gracias al alcalde Eric Adams por hacer una inversión de más de 900 millones de dólares, dinero que lo tendremos destinado para hacer de la calle de Nueva York calle segura. En su liderazgo nosotros vamos a ver una ciudad donde se va a invertir en mejorar la transportación, no solamente en la comunidad de clase alta y clase media, sino también en la comunidad de clase trabajadora, donde viven la mayoría de los neoyorquinos, especialmente una gran comunidad de inmigrantes. Gracias.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. If you haven't noticed, I love dogs, and I'm going to give me a dog before. 2 things I'm going to do before I leave office. And you remind me of the second, or you remind me of the second. Going to get my nose pierced, and I'm going to get a dog. Those are 2 things. You know, so we have some great partners here. Before we open to Q&A, you know, this is not, and you mentioned that as we did with the DOE, with local stakeholders, we did the same here. We did not have to find our biking advocates. We were speaking with them throughout the years. You know, so we didn't have to all of a sudden say, well, let's find who are the biking advocates, who are the safe street advocates. We stood with them for years. Us to just take the plans they gave us and implement them. And one thing you mentioned that many people miss, having the ride tomorrow, all we needed from the city was to give them the additional hour. And no one wanted to just move from what we've always done and said, let's give them an additional hour so we can go to the largest biking event on the globe. And so when we came in and started asking the question, well, why can't we do an additional hour? Everyone looked like the Three Stooges of scratching their heads saying, we don't know why. So we said what? Get stuff done. And so now you have your additional hour. Now you're going to expand. We're not going to allow bureaucracy to get in the way of making this a safe, friendly, fun city. Our city became so boring. That's all we know is no. Everything you want to do in this city, people say no, 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 no. Let's start from yes. And how do we get there to get it done? And thank you, Adonis, for getting that additional hour and making it happen in a real way. So I want to bring on our other partners, Senator Jackson, then
Well, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. And let me just thank the commissioner and everyone who put this together. I was invited by a member of his team to come down and ride bikes across the Brooklyn Bridge to come downtown Brooklyn, and I'm glad to be with you. And I was just thinking about the issue of safety. Holistic to be. And I just thank you for inviting me to come down here today to be with you, Commissioner, and your team, and you, Mayor, and your team. Thank you.
Representing Laura started our ride today, and I just want to give you a quick recap of what happened. There was no breakaways, no one was dropped. We rode as a peloton. Change. This is how promises that we've said for the past few years of expanding and protecting our bike lanes, making them happen. So I'm glad that to stand here with everyone to announce, I don't think it's only $900 million.
The leadership in the city. And thank all of the great advocates like TA and riders more who have been out on the streets demanding this investment for street safety. This plus dollars over the next 5 years will save of Commissioner Rodriguez and the team at DOT, safe, protected bike lanes, not paint barriers. They're going to keep our community safe. We are going to have buses, real busways, where folks can actually move. So
You have that? Mhm.
Well, and with the first, and also with the money, one thing that we should know is also that the original, what the mayor is allocating right now for the street master plan is even more than what the council anticipated and called for the bill to invest, because the original call for the council was over the 10-year, and this is an investment of the 5 years. So the money that the mayor is putting right now is even much more than what the council included when we passed the bill. We are working with the bike lane, with the bus lane, following the plan that Mayor committed, 150 mile protected bus lane in the next 4 years. This is a plan that we have.
Street master plan requires 20 miles of protected bike lanes each year, but we can max to 10. So is that less than what the code requires, or how many will we be building this year and every subsequent year?
Our goal is to get 150 protected bus lane over the next 4 years. That's a number that we have. We know that this year, because of the pandemic and all the challenges that we have, we're probably going to be working with this number on the 20. But our goal on Mayor Adams and DOT is to get 150 protected bus lane over the next 4 years.
Parking versus new bike lane.
New bike lanes, I thought it was 20 miles.
We talked about parking currently protected bike lane. Street master plan.
On the bike lane, on the protected one, I met with Bike New York and TA as soon as we were working with our goal, and we had this conversation about the importance to focus more on the quality than getting the 20 this year, and that's why they are happy with the numbers of miles that we get so far. And our goal is to get this 20 mile protected with new material, with better than what we anticipated by next year. But this is something that we work with advocates.
The law that was passed by the city council by you requires 20 miles of new bike lanes every year. So now you're saying that you're not going to meet that requirement.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was thinking about the hardening on the protected bus lane. We're working. I can get Sean from DOT to add it, but we're working. We are working with a goal to get the 20 mile. That's our goal that we're working as we are speaking right now.
Okay, we're gonna do some off topic, so y'all free, you're free up. We're free up. Thank you, brother. Hey, Gina, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you, man.
Stop. Start enforcement. We are still, we've always made it clear it was never about giving fines to people. It was motivating good behavior, and we are doing our spots inspection checks. If we receive complaints, we're following up on that. So it was never about how do we continue to be heavy-handed. From what I get from the city, the residents, and many of you in the news industry, heavy-handed enforcement is not what the city needs. We need to operate together to get the results we need. So if we get complaints, we go in and look at it. But we are clear this is what our businesses should do, and we're not trying to be heavy-handed and just go in and be harmful to businesses and to residents. We're not getting a lot because New Yorkers are following the rules. And so I'm happy that we don't need a lot, but we'll look if there's a specific number. But every number we receive, we follow up on. But we're not getting a lot because New Yorkers are doing what they're supposed to do. That's what's great about the city.
Can your staff give you the number?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is a question about your taxes. Sorry, when will you file and disclose the IRS amendments? Promise
I said last week, and I said it again, I spent 2 days talking about my taxes. I'm done. The next thing you'll get from me is the tax information, but that's a wrap. What you're going to find with me, I'm not spending 10 days on talking on topics that's interested to some people. I know what New Yorkers are interested in. New Yorkers are not stopping me on the street and say, hey, let me see your tax info. They said, Eric, stop the gun violence, make sure that we have affordable housing, make sure that our children are educated. This is about New Yorkers, and that is where I'm spending my time. I already answered all the questions on the tax question, and I spent 2 days on that. And that was even more than what I wanted to spend on that. So I'm done with that.
When can we get them?
Yeah, they could keep asking me and I could keep answering. I have no control over what you write. No one has control over what I answer to. So you could ask me, and you know, I respect that, and you should respect the fact that I answered the questions and I did. So I'm done.
Thought as to your idea to have an effective subway technology that
Still in evolution. I need New Yorkers to be safe, and we have some good possibilities out there, and we're excited about them. And so I must make sure New Yorkers are safe and comfortable in the system. And when the Deputy Mayor of Public Safety is ready to roll out the information, he's going to do so. But we have some great possibilities out there, and we will be announcing it when we're ready to announce it.
What's your response to seeing that the UFC now announced that it wants to sue the DOE and Chancellor over the fake vaccination card?
I'm just learning about that. I'm disappointed. If anyone had a fake vaccination card, I think that undermines the entire system. When a parent dropped their child off to school, they did it with the understanding that everyone inside that building that's employed there was vaccinated. And I think that's a lack of trust if someone faked a card. And so my understanding is an active investigation, and the investigation is going to determine if there was some misgivings that took place. But, you know, we should be vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, and because of that, I had COVID, you know, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. The days are all together, and I only had a tickle in my throat. You know, vaccines and boosters work. And so I'm disappointed if we find that there were DOE employees or any employee in the city that faked a vaccine card. That undermines our entire system. Okay.